going to get in the ring or not. So the doctor that helped invent the impact test is, he's giving me this stuff on a piece of paper. So I do all that. And he kind of looks at me, gets up, and I'm sitting in Dr. Maroon's office. And finally, Dr. Maroon comes back in. He goes, "You just scored higher. you scored higher than 85% of the Pittsburgh Steelers," which he's their doctor too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Your test came back, and your test is better than your baseline test that we did in the early 2000s." He goes, "I can't tell you not to get back in the ring." He says, "If it happens again," he goes, "and then you might need to make some tough decisions."
Do you, looking at that match now, watching that match now, do you wish you could remember it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because of
this.
Not that I don't care if I remember it. I just wish I hadn't got concussed.
Yeah.
Because, when I did watch it back, I can't pinpoint when I got the concussion, mm-hmm. but I can pinpoint when my body language and everything changed. Like where I became sluggish, mm-hmm. and I wasn't moving the way that I could move, and that's there was a hesitation.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was calling, I was called the matches.
Yep.
And I was calling whatever until that happened, and then it was a scramble because Brock was waiting on me to call the match.
Did you talk to Brock post? Have what was your reaction kind of thing?
Did Brock know that you had a concussion in the match?
Yeah.
Well, he knew something.
Stephanie,
he knew something went right because I just went because I thought all of a sudden I stopped calling the match. Okay. Right. So
I wonder his his internal. That would be it's kind of weird to think what his internal would have been.
Yeah, I've never really asked him about it. But he did. He went to the hospital.
No, Steph, sorry.
So him and I
hope you're on the lookout though.
Or not, but
okay, I'll pull a nice one.
Up at the hospital, I guess.
A few nice ones.
But
go on the road.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It was just no memory whatsoever until I watched it. And I had to watch it back, and it was like I was watching a match. It was crazy because I knew that's me, and I should have a feeling one way or another, and I'm just watching it and man,
still is that way.
Yeah, the only reason I remember it now is because I've watched it
before,
but I still don't have any recollection whatsoever of it, and so
it's like Miz that year or John, he got knocked out. It's his WrestleMania moment, you know what I mean? Beating John Cena and has no recollection or memory of it.
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes, man.
That's crazy.
It's just what it goes.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think honestly what happened, because I was already in that. At that point, I was already only working once or twice a year. And I think obviously Father Time just caught up with me in the sense I wasn't taking those reps and my body, so I'd already had to start changing the way that I trained to, get my cardio and everything up, but I wasn't in the ring. So my body wasn't, I wasn't taking bumps. So I don't think that it, between getting another year older and then, not having the reps and not taking the bump,
trying too much.
I don't know. I don't know.
Start running cards. I don't know.
I knew I was in good shape, cardiovascular wise, because I knew it was Brock, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go, and so I was in really good physical shape, but I don't think my body was prepared for the trauma, because not everybody throws me around like Brock can throw me around. And it was nothing that he did. He didn't do anything,
our bodies aren't made to do this. Our bodies aren't meant to do this.
And so I just think, it caught up to me and not taking enough bumps. It's always those last few years, that was always the biggest issue for me, was making sure that my cardio was
instead of trying to the bumping part of it.
Yeah, because at that point you just feel like it's like riding a bike, right? You take a bump, you get up, and you go on and do your business. So I didn't feel like, man, I don't need to take a bunch of bumps, and I don't need to. I'm not a spot guy. I tell stories, and that's what I do. I just need my cardio to be
Shop.
point
There it goes.
for when I got to switch gears. Yep. That's the way I looked at it. I think everything else is cake, really. And then all of a sudden, I don't have any memory. So, I mean, there's a lot of matches. There's a lot of matches I wish I had no memory of. That just doesn't happen to be one of them.
Are there? I mean, not to that caliber, but are there other matches that you can think of, like, that there's nothing of, like no memory of?
No.
Not about that.
And I've been concussed a few times, but I still had
Austin chair shot, right? Was there
the Austin
SummerSlam?
No, Austin's the one that caught my head.
That's what it was.
Yeah. He had sent me. I'd sent him in for the backdrop.
Yes. And
he gave me the boot, and the back of my head caught Austin in the chin.
That's what it was.
Yeah. His eyes rolled back like a slot machine. I was like, uh-oh. That's how that whole leg drop happened. Like, I told Steve, I said, look, if anything goes wrong in this match, I'm going to put you on the table, and I'm going to climb up to the top, and I'm going to drop the leg onto you from the table. And sure enough, man, I rung his bell, and he was gone, man. He didn't know where he was at for a while, so we danced around until he started getting his faculties. I said, well, I got to do something. This is the Garden. It's SummerSlam. I was like, crap. I put him on the table, and I never even went up to the top rope. I just looked at the distance from the table. I said, I can do that. But I got up to the top.
I've never once thought getting on the top.
Instantly, DraftKings, you make the playoffs even more exciting. Legendary NFL coach Jim Moore. What do you think?
Welcome to my Whatnot channel. Got some wrestling cards for all y'all people. Y'all better get these dollars in, because if you don't, guess what? That's for you. I don't care. That's too bad.
I can do that when it's that far.
Yeah, and I got up
Even
there.
no question of it.
I had no question. And until I got up there, and then I was like, no. This is gonna hurt. Because I knew I had to protect him, right? I got to make sure, you don't. Yeah. Anybody I can hurt, I can't hurt him, right? And that was a long way, man.
And you're gonna land on that table edge with those. Yeah. They break so great on television, but they never break like this. They always. It just never.
It was. Yeah. I cracked my coccyx when I did it. When I landed, Steve was fine. He went down, and everybody was like, it was one of them holy shit kind of things,
Yeah.
But it was. I wish I hadn't had to pull that out of the bag, man. Looking back.
Stomach, photogenic face.
So, man, what have you been up to, man?
One big SOB.
Making towns at 38 years old, feeling I'm 58. At 38, I have a hearing aid. I've had 2 back surgeries in the last 3 years, and just
still living. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, so the last 2, when I was young, my people, midgets, I already told him he could have a car.
I don't know, something a little cooler.
We're born with scoliosis.
Let's run this.
And when I was born,
Seth Rollins.
and when I was 4,
Silver Prism.
they tried to do surgery on me to straighten it. The doctor never did a surgery on a person like me, and a midget.
I'm not going to use it yet. I'm going to wait.
Another thing I was thinking, laughing to myself on the flight, hysterically, like, he's maybe said midget 3 times in all of the time I worked with him.
I don't think I was referencing you.
No, you're referencing the other ones. Yeah. It's never been.
That sounds even more derogatory.
No, the other one.
Beaver, Tokyo, all the Haiti kid, the midgets, not like you.
Not Leprechaun.
Those are a lot different. Much different.
Why we digress? He cut me open. He hit a nerve in my spine and ended up paralyzing me, because he's never done surgery on my people. And
this was the first when you were back.
Yeah, when I was 4, I had that surgery, and then was paralyzed from the waist down and just full body cast. And then we found a doctor in Minneapolis who specializes in little person or midget surgeries and put a rod in my back. First thing he says when we get out of surgery to my parents at the time is, hey, no trampolines and no contact sports.
Well, you kind of screwed that up,
Undertaker's is not for sale.
Years and years later, obviously,
or just a prop
for WWE, he randomly like emailed or called my dad or something. Was like, I see he didn't listen to me very much. And my dad goes, yeah, he didn't listen to me either, obviously. So now, it just over time, the nerves have kind of went around my spine and cut feeling from a lot of my legs down. A little bigger. And so we tried to open it up. Didn't work. Tried to open it up. Didn't work. But I'm still above ground. I'm above ground, and I'm very, very okay.
Well, very, very okay.
Very, very okay.
So you don't have
like from here, like the front of my legs is pretty dead. My feet, I feel like it's like the Mr. Deeds, Adam Sandler movie Mr. Deeds, where you can just put a spike.
Right.
Yeah. They feel something. They always feel like cold.
They always feel cold.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Midian.
No, you're doing much better than Midian, man.
He lost all of his toes. So don't lose all your toes.
No. I have my toes. They're just not very long.
Pandora.
There's like baby toes.
Yeah.
I have the toes of a 5-year-old.
Never gonna try all 3.
You compare.
Yeah, I knew my son's age when he started, not just in high clip toes.
You're all wearing the same clothes.
I can't. Literally, I'm doing laundry now. I'm going, oh, that's his. Oh, these pants? Yep, those, yep. I don't know if it's his shorts or my pants now. Truly. Happened the other day. Real story. He's 14, not 30.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And, just still biting ass and, doing haha.
Hey, brother, pays the bills.
I love it. I talk about it all the time. Like this is all I know. All I know is wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this. This is what I've always wanted to do since I was 4. And in the body cast, I'm telling my parents, I'm going to wrestle. And they go, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And like my grandpa saying, guys, he's going to do this. He's going to do this, whether you say like this. I think he's going to do this. And like my dad having to tell my grandpa, like, I don't think it's smart, like, for him to do this and getting trained and all that. And I didn't really listen to anyone and still did. Yeah. I never wanted to be trained. It's funny now, like I do the midget spots because that's what I can do great at decently. I can bite a decent ass. And so, but I never wanted to get trained that way. I wanted to be trained as a small. I want to be trained as a small wrestler. So now doing it now, it's like, okay, as you love, I don't have to do all of the moves and.
Yeah.
Thanks for the share, ballet teacher. Appreciate it.
Your favorite.
That's our word of the day.
Yeah.
Flippy dudes.
Autos. Yeah, I got some autos. Let me.
When did you get into wrestling? How did you get into wrestling?
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
He was my hero.
Okay.
Literally, like, I hated
I don't know why I don't have an auto
Hulk
pile.
Hogan.
Come on.
I got the auto. Fuck it. Titus O'Neil.
But I was like,
I wasn't talking about me. I was just talking about in general.
he was just like forced. He was so forced down everyone's throats. Like in the 89 to 90, it's like, man, Warrior was cool. That was my guy. Like,
Yeah.
That was my hero growing up. He just looked different. He had the different. He didn't come out. His music, all of that was just
The energy. It was a different energy.
it was so cool. It was like, it wasn't just the white meat good guy. It was something different. And that was 1990, and that was like, all right.
Give me 1 second.
I remember to this day.
Let's go run.
Because he
Titus O'Neil. Let's do it.
The WrestleMania 6 so much that he just ended up like stealing it. He goes, no, we're gonna just take this, and it's because he was sick of paying the rental fee, and so he just took it and kept it.
See, he paid for it.
But yeah, that was my intro. Was WrestleMania 6 was like the first like thing I can really remember in wrestling.
And then how did you actually get into
I was backyard wrestling in Wisconsin, and just we would.
I hadn't heard that term in a long time.
We loved it, man. That's like, I think about it, my teenage era was the era of backyard wrestling.
Yeah,
like
it's indies now.
Yeah,
the backyard wrestling.
We made a ring, mattresses at first, and then we actually like built a ring out of wooden, like the railroad ties and that. It was, in our mind, we had ropes that we could climb. It was great. But then it was time to take it kind of serious, and there was a local company that was ACW out of Green Bay, and Ken Anderson wrestled there, and he ended up starting to train me. So he trained me and did that, and then 2 years later, they were looking for a person like me.
Old Spice body wash. Freshness all day. Swagger all day. It's the biggest deal in breakfast. 2 wake-up wraps and a hot or iced coffee. It's Dunkin's $5 meal deal.
I've got a Krabby Patty. How much on 30? Yeah, I got a computer. Keeping the takers. 30. Let me see.
I'm not saying, bro. I'm disciplined.
A nice guy. They were looking for a nice guy.
A great human.
A great human.
A great
like
human.
me.
That's what they were looking for.
I'm trying to keep the takers.
I'm waiting.
Just my little background or whatever. Let me see comps on this.
The tagline is Undertaker says midget.
Little people across the world revolt, cancel Undertaker.
They won't make it very far.
I'm hoping. That's my goal, actually.
Is for a little person revolt?
No, if it's a little, that's fine. Whoever does it, they just need to do it. So I don't have to come and look at Matt's toes.
I like it.
Oh, don't encourage.
I like it.
Don't encourage, man.
But yeah, they're looking
he does it just completely out. He knows it drives me nuts.
I know, and so he's gonna get. WWE Shop had to put out his sandals by now.
They should.
They had to.
They should.
I'll find them. I'll find them for you. I got you, pal.
So
you're doing backyard wrestling.
3 out of 25 out of flawless.
And then just going get trained on the indie level. And I said like day one, I was like, I don't want to be trained as a midget wrestler. I don't want to do the ref spots. I don't want to do the ass fighting. I want to be Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio. I want to just be on like a small cruiserweight. It's like, okay. So he trained me like that. Doing flatbacks, doing slams, doing hip toss, arm drag, body slam, all of that stuff with normal size humans. And like, that's what because I never watched midget wrestling. It wasn't my thing. I thought it was like hokey and I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. I watched real wrestling, like actual wrestling. So that's what I wanted to do. And him and the other trainers never like babied me, I guess. They just trained me like one of the guys. They trained me like a smaller athlete. So it was great, and all props to them. And then, 2 years later, they're looking for a midget for Finley, and he put the word in for that too. And it was just literally off the races.
I don't know, man. What's your offer, bro? I'm kind of seeing some numbers here.
I got a guy that is a good kid. He is, he's young. He can take bumps, all of that.
I'm seeing some numbers.
Called me up, had me do an interview in like a backstage, because they were trying out other midgets at the time. And then they had
not
me
frozen
there.
I'll do like 20. Theory has no market. Nope, not doing 20.
The TV.
Did you know Undertaker is scared of cucumbers?
Yeah,
something like it.
So we used to do pre-tapes and stuff.
That could be possible.
Yes, sir.
Our great sponsor here, Artisan Grange.
Just shoot me an offer on
We've talked about them for a while now.
Till then, I'm just gonna be running random cards. I don't know, I'm bored.
5 milligrams. Great flavors.
What flavor is this?
Okay. Roxanne Perez out of.
So if you're trying to come off dip or anything like that,
24.
you're gonna have to cut. These are brand new cans. Artisan Grange help you out.
Got a
Look
little
at you with your knife. I've seen you sitting over there with that today.
ink right there.
I thought I might need it.
I don't know
Parsley
that like
Ranch, the
that.
company
But
started when a group of former tobacco
that
dippers wanted a
seatbelt on,
dip
it's kind of pretty dope.
alternative that actually tasted like tobacco. So they decided to make one on one condition. It supports American farmers. No matter what your taste,